Welcome, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Hi, Teresa.
Hi, happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday. All right, we're going to get going today because I'm a little under the weather and I want to make sure I get to all the stuff I have to do today. So we are talking today about WordPress auto updates and why you should avoid them, which I thought was interesting because I thought, oh, you're always supposed to do the updates.
You are supposed to do the updates, but here's where it is. So today I'm just really talking to our WordPress users because this is a big one. What a lot of people avoid doing their updates, period, and they ignore getting their updates done. And so hosting companies, what they have done to cancel or to counteract that is they've implemented auto updating, so it does the updates for you. And it sounds like a great idea.
It
and
does.
People are hopping on and turning on their auto updates and walking away from their website and ignoring it. Here is why I want people to avoid them. And again, I'm going to go back to do your own updates, do them often, but do them manually, because what happens is those auto updates get turned on, it updates everything at once. And if there's a conflict from one plugin to the next, your website now has crashed, looks wrong, looks bad. And by crashed, it's still technically live. It just will have a page that does not represent you in place. And you're not going to know it until you go to your website or somebody tells you that you have a down website. And this is happening a lot across the board. And especially if you, poor thing, sending you healing thoughts. Yeah, no. But especially if you built the website yourself and you kind of piece together the plugins that are not built by the same company, there's no way they can guarantee they're compatible. So by having this auto update installed for you, it's crashing websites. Even with the plugin stack that I use the same plugins pretty much on all of my websites. But in the last couple of weeks, I have had 4 websites go down because of auto updates, and most of them I'm able to quickly restore, and I'm on top of it. I have monitoring software. I have all of those things in place because that's my job. I'm a web designer. But most people aren't in that situation. They don't have somebody to do it for them. They don't have somebody monitoring things. And you may not know how to restore it quickly. I have a process in place that does that.
Yeah, like I think to myself, oh, auto updates, that sounds awesome. I'm hands off. Anything I can do that's hands off, rather than knowing that I have to go in monthly. I mean, obviously I have you, which thank God, because I wouldn't know what to do to manually update my plugins. And I do remember before I had you, I've had other web designers, but there've been occasion I go into my back end of my website to take a look so that I'm not completely naive, and I'll see little notations that certain things need to be updated. But I never touched them because I knew. So I was in that category of never did my own updates because I was afraid of them.
And that's pretty common too, which is another reason why people think auto updates is the solution, because I'm afraid to do them. But here's the difference is when auto updates break, it still breaks your site. It can still crash your website. And one of those crashes I had to completely rebuild because it broke things so bad. But there was more behind the scenes on that one. But when it breaks your site and you think auto updates, it's taking care of not breaking your site, but it doesn't care. It doesn't know. It's just installing updates. It's not doing a functionality test. It's not taking a look at the website to make sure that it still looks good or that it doesn't have weird code on the screen. It's not making sure everything is still functioning well. It's just installing updates. And so again, going back to it, I know updates can be a little bit scary, but they really don't have to be, and they are so very important. What I do, I'll share with you what I do with my clients, is I do them weekly so that I don't have to do a whole bunch at once typically. So every Monday morning I go in and I install updates, and ideally I install them one at a time. That sounds tedious, but when you have 2 or 3 updates a week, it's not that bad. And the reason that I install them one at a time is because then I know if something breaks, I know what update broke my website.
Yes, rather than doing them all at once.
Rather than doing it all at once. And then you may be able to siphon out some code to see which one broke it, but that's a maybe. And so if it breaks the site, then you're trying to get with hosting and hoping there's a good backup. It's a nightmare, and it's a day that spends out of control if you don't have a solution in place. So that's why I'm saying turn off your auto updates and just go in once a week. It takes a couple minutes, really. If you do it once a week, install one update at a time, and then you know your website is always protected.
What happens if you install one update and then you go find out something is broken? Can you reverse the one update?
Most of the time you can go and just disable and remove that update. And you can even do a new installation a lot of times, and it's going to fix things for you. It'll be fine. And so that's the key. But the other side too is that, let's say that it takes you out of the update, the plugin page, and you don't know what to do, but you know that's the plugin that broke it and you can't get into your site. When you contact your hosting company, because that's the next step to do, contact hosting and say, I just installed an update to plugin A. Can you go delete that plugin from my site? They can go in, delete it, your site's back up and going, and things and you can get back on the road quickly.
Okay, so all I'm thinking is this is why you need to charge enough money to your clients so you can pay for a web designer.
And that, honestly, in an ideal situation, build that in, bank that part of your budget, hire a website designer.
Exactly what I teach people. Make enough money so that you don't have to try to do the things that you don't know how to do or you don't know how to do well. That's where I come in.
But right. And I will say too, if you have a website designer that you're working with, check with them about what their update maintenance practice is. What do they do? Are they utilizing the auto updates? And what are they doing to make sure your site is good once updates are installed? Have that conversation with them to make sure that they are taking care of you. Because like I said, I came across the site just yesterday or Monday when I did my updates, and I'm not exactly sure when her site went down because it didn't report on my monitoring software that it was down, but all she had was a white page with code on it. So again, turned off her auto updates, restored her, she's back up and running and life is good. But it's a nightmare when you don't have a plan in place or know what to do.
Yeah, and that's a great tip when you're I say everyone who's watching live or on replay, ask your web designer how they handle updates. Teresa just gave you a great email to send to them. Hey, just curious, do you do updates to my website regularly? If so, when? And how do you do them? And how do you check that nothing's broken? Like, check their procedure. You're paying them. You should know and understand what they're doing.
You should have it outlined. Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Teresa. We're going to make it quick today because I'm going to get ready to cough and I don't want to do that.
Well, and that's all that needs to be said. It's a quick, short love, but I want your guys' websites to stay up and bring in all the business and abundance that you're looking for. So this is one way to help ensure that continues.
Absolutely. And if you're looking for a web designer, hello, that's what Teresa does. So reach out to her. She's a rock star, keeps my website up and running smoothly on a regular basis and updates and all that fun stuff. And she could do that for you as well. So, all right. Thank you, everyone. And I will see you. We may have to skip next Wednesday. I'm moving my father again. But we'll find another time slot for sure.
We'll find a time slot.
Okay.
It'll work.
All right. Bye, everyone. Go have a great day. Bye.